So, hello, my people. This is me again to talk a little bit more about the symptoms that targeted individuals experience and the reason why. Yeah, like I was saying from the earlier video, when you have a spiritual awakening, what happens is your body, mind, and spirit is now connected. It's now aligned. And that is why most times you find that you see the numbers 1111, 222, 333, 55, and all the rest of them. The reason mainly why you see that number is because your body, mind, and spirit is now aligned. So that you're now your higher self. You're now living as a spirit with a body and not as a body with a spirit. So what happens is, like I said before, some organizations, that mimic the science that the universe uses to try and wake you up to the fact that you are now awake spiritually, you're now aligned. This organization, right, their main purpose is to disalign you, to cause a kind of disalignment between your body, mind, and spirit, so that you do not be able to live like your higher self. And ways that they do this, for most especially for you, the ones that experience the sirens constantly, you're not crazy. You're being targeted with it, and you're not the only one. There's so many people across the world. If you go on the internet, you will see there's a lot of videos posted. You're being targeted with it. There are normal incidents where sirens are going about their business, and police sirens, fire sirens, ambulance sirens going about their daily business. But then at the same time, there's the one you will know when you're being targeted with it, because they will sensitize you to it. I'll be back in a bit. So as I was saying, you know when you're being targeted with something, because it would have been happening for a long time, and for instance the sirens and cars following you and people doing different things. But the thing is, you won't suspect right away. You won't know because you're not expecting that kind of a thing. But then they'll come very close to you and show it to you. They will get your attention. Like me, how they got my attention was, looking back now, places that I used to hang out, there's always been siren, constant siren, because I used to hang out, because I like going to nature a lot. I like going to parks, hanging out in parks. So looking back now, there's always sirens. I'll be back again, yeah? So, thinking back now, there's always been siren. There's always been siren everywhere I go. So how they got my attention was, they would come very close to me, most times when I'm alone, before they start off the siren. And they did it a couple of times, and then it became obvious to me. They got my attention, and I started thinking of it like, wait a minute. First time, second time, third time, And then they would do it in a pattern. I'll be back. So by the time they did it a couple of times, they got my attention there. And what I just noticed was everywhere I go, there's always the sirens, the police, the ambulance, the fire trucks, every single place I go to. You know, it just got me to start thinking like, is crime happening every time I go out? You know? And there's been many times that I try to convince myself like, okay, this can just be part of the synchronicity, you know, the part of the coincidences, because I do know that I'm not the only one in the world. There are loads of people in the world, and there are loads of things happening, you know, so that the ambulances actually respond to people, because there's been a time that I actually called them before, you know, so they do respond to emergencies, and they need to use the siren to clear the road. I'll be back. So, but then in my case, it just seems to be everywhere I go, every time I go out. So I started researching this, and I found that a lot of people has been experiencing this same thing as well. You understand? And I try to think, like, why? What could be the reason behind this? You know, because it's happened so many times, and you know, when you don't know why such a thing is happening, you tend to there tend to be a space for negative thoughts coming in. You know, with all the conspiracy theories and conspiracy things out there, you know, you may start to think that they are actually after you for a bad reason. And there's been many times I console myself like, okay, this is a good thing in some kind of way, because I've thought about it. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not an evil person. Then what could be the reason? You know? But I'm so grateful to the universe, because the universe sends me help when I need help. Because this has been happening for a very long time, and it happens when I'm trying to, you know, when I'm thinking good things, when I'm doing my research, when I'm, you know, doing my energy work, meditation and all that. That is when the sirens go off most times. So I found out, and I realized something when I found out that I've had a spiritual awakening. And when I had that spiritual awakening, what happens is I found that I'm more relaxed, and I became more happier. I could concentrate more. And I found as well that most places that I go to, my vibration, the way that I feel, affects people. So that if I'm happy, a lot of people around become just happy. I just see that they're happy. The place I lived in the last time was actually council blocks, and the area was known to be a notorious place for gangs like trouble and all that. But when I moved in that place, after like a week or two, the place became very, very quiet. I'll be back in a bit. So what I realized about the area after some time was it became very, very, you know, very, very quiet. And everybody, where like all of a sudden, even I can hear people saying this area has changed recently. You know, people have become more happier, and you know, they become more happier, friendly, and there hasn't been so much trouble there. And that time I happened to stumble across a video called a video by Dolores Cannon, and she talked about something. She said something about certain people who come to the world just to generate. positive energy, you know, that when they get to a place like Complex, they can easily affect the whole of the people with their energy. I'll be back in a bit. So after watching that video, I quickly realized that that was me. I was one of such people, because I am one of such people because I don't know why, that's just my nature. From, from time, right from time, I dislike violence so much. I dislike, negative people and negative situations so much. I tend to always be, I like just to be me. I don't like troublesome people. I don't like troublesome places. That has always been my state of mind, even though sometimes people mistake me for, maybe because of my look, people always sometimes mistake me for a troublesome person, but naturally that's not the kind of person I am. I wouldn't even like to hurt a fly, especially not now, knowing that everything is energy, everything is God life. So that was how I realized that I'm one of such people. So be back again. So now, having realized this now, and I see different things happening around me, I'm not quick to call them a bad thing, but they are showing to me, they are coming across to me like a bad thing. Spiritually, I know that anything that comes against me, when I'm not doing anything wrong to nobody, spiritually, I know that thing is a good thing, because spiritually it's a good thing, but physically it's just opposing my energy. It's against what I stand for. So that if I stand for good, and as I'm doing good, something hates the good thing I'm doing, then that means that is evil. It's opposing my energy. Spiritually, what I'm doing is good. Spiritually is a good thing, and it's a sign that I'm doing well. That is why there is an opposing force against me. So when all these things is happening, the helicopters, the sirens everywhere, and activities, different kind of activities, what I noticed was that their aim is to cause some kind of negative emotion, that will then distract me and then disalign me, my body, mind and spirit, to disalign it, so that I am not my higher self, so that I am not going to be able to fulfill my soul mission. You see, because when you feel negative energy causes negative emotions, and this will disalign you when you are aligned, body, mind and spirit. This is what happens when you're spiritually awakened. There's a connection now, there's an alignment now between your body, your mind and your spirit, so that when you feel negative emotions and you become negatively charged, let me put it that way, then you become disaligned and distracted. So this is the aim of these things that targets you. Look inside of you. Assess yourself. If you're not against the law, right? You looked into yourself, you're not against the law. You're not doing something horrible or evil to anyone else. When you properly checked, because sometimes we may actually be doing something and we don't know we're harming someone else with what we're doing. So, but then if you check properly and you find that you're not doing anything wrong to someone else and you're not breaking the law, then you would know that what you're going through, what they're doing to you is for a different purpose. Now, listen to this video, watch this video and try and meditate on it. Put into consideration. Check how you feel when you experience those targeting symptoms and those things. Check how you feel, check how your body feel. If you find that it gives you negative feelings and negative emotions, then try as well and find if you have had a spiritual awakening. If you have had a spiritual awakening, know definitely for sure this thing is to disalign you and to distract you, so that you're thinking something else with your mind and you're feeling something else with your body, your emotions. Yeah, that way you cannot properly connect to your spirit and fulfill your life purpose. So I'm just sharing my opinion on this. Yeah, my people. Yeah, stay blessed. We'll see you again. Bye.